Hi, today I'm going to share how I make a chocolate cherry smoothie delight. A lot of people have tried mine and they love it, and so I'm going to show how I make it today. Um, if I have them available, I will always add rose petals, and today I have them. So I'm very excited about that. So the way I start out is I make a nut milk first. And so today I'm going to be using walnuts for the nut milk. I will also add a little bit of coconut manna because it's nice and creamy. And you can also add fresh coconut if you have it. That's better. I don't have any available right now, so that's always an option. So some coconut manna with the walnuts will make a nice creamy milk. But to boot, I'm also going to add cacao nibs. And those are basically chocolate beans that have been broken into little pieces. So they're called nibs. And that's what they look like in the store. Um, Cacao nibs. And the difference between cacao nibs and chocolate powder, cacao powder, is the nibs, which are the chocolate beans, have all the fat inside, and the cacao powder is just the fat has been stripped away. The oil has been taken away. So this will give you a more chocolatey flavor because it's the actual bean itself. So to add to the walnut, cacao nib, coconut manna milk, I'm going to add a little bit of they're the white mulberries. They look a little brown, but they're called white mulberries. So I'm going to blend that into make a milk. And once that milk is made with water, then I'm going to add the rose petals. I'm going to blend that. Um, then I will be adding some. So once you want to actually start to blend this with a small amount of water, because the more liquid you add, it's going to make it a little chunky. So the less liquid you add, the smoother it'll be. So once the milk's made, then you can start adding more volume. So um, when I add the cherries, I'm also going to add some of other juice. So here I have this antioxidant juice from Trader Joe's, and it does have tart cherry juice in it. I prefer just dark cherry juice, but I'm just going to use this today, just a little splash. That's because it has a little tart cherry, so it kind of goes together. So when I add the cherries, I'm also going to add my supplements. So um, smoothies are a great way to get your supplements in, and I'm sure they're going to vary from person to person. So I'm not even going to tell you what mine are. I have like 7 of them here. And so just to let you know about those cherries, right? If you look in the freezer section at a health food store or even at Costco, they do sell organic pitted cherries. So they are so good. And I'm also going to add some protein powder. Now, this Garden of Life raw protein powder, it's I guess it says chocolate flavored. It doesn't really have a very strong chocolate flavor. It's very mild. But the thing about it is that it goes well with the chocolate smoothie because it attempts to have a chocolate flavor. So it blends nicely. Um, did I say I'm also going to add a little cacao powder? It's going to be really chocolatey. So uh, yeah, I'll show you in the Vitamix how I do it step by step. All right. Okay, so I just blended the walnuts with the cacao nibs, and I use such a little bit amount of water. And again, the reason for that is if you add too much water, it will not blend into a fine puree. The more liquid you add, the more chunks you'll have. So the less liquid, the finer the puree you're going to have. So now I'm going to add other ingredients right now. So right there was the mulberries, the cacao nibs, and the walnuts. I'm going to add other things now. Okay, so I just added the rose petals, and as you can see, the Vitamix is filled with rose petals right now. So I didn't even add the cherries yet. I'm going to blend the rose petals first before I add the cherries, just to make sure that rose petals are nice and fine, because the cherries will take less time to blend than the rose petals. Okay, so I blended all the rose petals, and as you can see, it condensed down quite nicely. Now, the next step is a little trick. So you definitely want to add your supplements and the protein powder before the cherries, because the powder can fly around when it's blending. So you want to have it underneath the cherries before you blend it so that the powder doesn't go everywhere. And you can see how much juice I added. I did not add that much juice. So if this is for one person, you definitely don't want to add too much juice. The juice is so sweet. Um, so I did also add cacao powder, so it will be a little on the bitter side. And that protein is not very sweet at all. So it's going to have some mild sweetness. That's all. So, okay, I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I got all the supplements in, and then I added the cherries. So you see I pretty much covered the supplements. And that way it keeps the mess to a minimum inside the Vitamix. Okay, I'm going to blend now. Okay, so the final product is literally just 1 quart of smoothie, and that just serves one person. But it is a full, like, I think 22 grams of protein, and even more if you want to add more protein powder. I did add some tea at the very end to clean up the Vitamix. So on the bottom is just some tea. So I'm not going to waste anything. And I do recommend, blending a small amount of liquid when you're done, to clean the Vitamix, and then also to not, waste any supplements. And one thing I do want to say, I didn't tell you what was in my supplements, but one of them I do want to share is acerola cherry powder. And it is very tart. And I just want to point out that even though the juice here is really sweet, when you add vitamin C powder, like true whole food plant-based vitamin C powder, the sweetness balances out the tartness. And so the smoothie, it's a chocolate cherry smoothie. It has a wonderful tartness to it, which it has a little tangy bite, which it's just, to me, it's so delightful. And the smoothie is so healing when you add the supplements. I mean, it's so full of antioxidants. So, yeah, that just is to show you how to make a nice smoothie for one person in the Vitamix without making a horrible mess. And it's a great way to start your day. Thanks for watching.